So can we have a real big round of applause for Maxine?
As you're journeying home from war, I think that you're doing such a great job in thinking about putting together an organization that's called Veterans Writing Peace. That is the way that we're going. And the other thing that I think you're doing so well is that you're eating together. So you have meals together. Okay, so you've got two of the ways that we have of coming home. But I want to tell you there are more ways. It's not enough just to have an art such as writing. And it's not enough just to have dinners together. There are other things. And there's time. You need time. You need silence. You need a spiritual practice. And the fourth thing is community. I think you're already beginning on the community part. With time, what I'm talking about is that we need time to be together. And even with say a writing class or a class, an hour is not enough. The Veteran Writers Group that I started, sometimes there's retreats, and the retreats could be like 3, 4, 5 days long. When we have a meeting, they last all day. It's like 9:30 to 5:30. And very common to have a whole weekend where we spend the entire weekend together, so that we could be, we're sleeping together all night. And in the morning, we can tell each other, how was the night? Did you stay up all night? You couldn't sleep? Or what were your dreams like? So that we share a lot of time together. Not just quality time, but a quantity of time. The group that I'm with, we've been together for 23 years. And so we commit our time to one another. And we know we're going to be together for the rest of our lives. Okay, silence. War is very noisy. Sometimes all there is noise. There's one veteran who's come back with his PTSD is that he can't stand noise, and auditory hallucinations and so on. And he's written that at one time when the bombs are going off, all of reality was nothing but noise. So we are silent together. When we meet for days or all day, it's almost like a monk taking a vow of silence. And we find other ways of communicating besides talking. And okay, so silence in a way is an antidote to war. And also silence is quiet, and peace and quiet. So silence is a kind of peace. And so and some people will be able to spend many hours. Actually, well, in the Buddhist practice, it's called noble silence. And then there will be maybe 10 hours of straight silence. Okay, so And art is not enough. Um, Intellectual life is not enough. We need a spiritual practice. And I think that we could think about this in this secular world we live in, when PTSD, some people, in addition to calling it PTSD, they're calling it moral injury. And we even hear this phrase from the VA, that there's moral injury. And when you think, what is moral injury? It doesn't necessarily mean that you did something wrong, like you killed somebody, although that's very important too. You could even be in the presence of when moral injury is being committed, and in that way you are participating, not able to stop it. Moral injury is, it's an idea that we have a conscience. We were also raised with the commandment that you shall not kill. We are also, the first Buddhist precept is, I vow not to kill. Okay, then we are sent over to there to kill. And it doesn't matter whether we did it personally. I didn't go over there, and I didn't kill anybody, but my taxes went over there. My votes, my politics, it ended up in doing moral injury. It's not just that we do it either. We ourselves are morally injured. There's an amazing story by one of the veterans in our group where he writes about, he was raised as an altar boy, and he took it seriously, the commandments. And there's an amazing picture in our book where he is, they're holding mass out on the battlefield, and the chaplain is there, the ammo boxes are piled up, and that's being used as an altar. And there's a picture of him praying and listening to this, to the minister. And this is in his story, he says, okay, I was an altar boy, and then I was a raging killer beast. So you can see the moral injury. And so part of what we do together is that we have a spiritual practice. One way is that we deal with these commandments, and we figure out how our struggle keeping those commandments. So part of the spiritual practice is that we do meditation together, and there's sitting meditation, but we also have eating meditation, we have walking meditation, we have hugging meditation. Walking meditation is very important because there's a certain way that we learn to walk when we're marching, or when you are, the way that you walk through a minefield. A lot of fear. Is there a new way that we can learn to walk? And in walking meditation, to learn to trust the earth again, and to learn to walk peacefully on the earth. These rituals that we do are Buddhist rituals, and chose Buddhism because it's hardly a religion. It's sort of empty, and so that we can bring we can bring whatever we need to bring to it. The other reason that we have Buddhist meditation is that this whole our whole group was started by Thich Nhat Hanh, who is a Buddhist monk, and most of the veterans in our group are Vietnam veterans, and this was a way of reconciliation. We have brought the enemy, Viet Cong, have come to our meetings, and that is a way of reconciliation. I think that that is much harder for you because our war was over. And then we can say, oh, it's over, so we can start the reconciliation. But these wars that we are in now, it's so hard to say, oh, it's over, and now we can start the healing process. We haven't even finished. Having a spiritual practice also gives us a code of ethics, and so that we can look at those commandments and those precepts and struggle with them. There's a veteran in our group who says, for this one day, I am a Buddhist and a peacemaker and a vegetarian. When we eat together, we're vegetarians because we try to keep that precept of not killing and just keep it to a minimum. Just gonna try eating vegetables and we even struggle with that. So each of our senses and the things that we do, we work on our moral injury and see whether we can heal from that. Okay, and community. The one thing about coming home from war, people become so alienated and so hard to come home, and coming back and not finding a place here. So what we've done is just to form our own community, and of the veterans gathering, and we're coming home to this human family. And we make a commitment to ourselves that we'll just be together, we'll write together, eat together, and we will be our family. Okay, all of this is theory, and what we need to do is learn it from experience, not just to know ideas, but to experience silence, to experience community, to experience the eating meditation, to experience walking lovingly on the earth, to experience hugging your enemy. That's it.
Thank you, Maxine.